Hey, we're here because I like to celebrate Women's History Month.
Yes, thank you for doing this.
Absolutely. You know, it takes a community to raise one, and I have been blessed to have met you. I think
We're almost at 1 year.
we're almost at 1 year.
Yeah, next month.
That faithful encounter. And so I thought, who else to choose than Brandi to celebrate this
Oh, I appreciate
amazing
this.
month?
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for doing this for a look at all the local
Yes.
ladies and the impact that we're all making.
Absolutely. Well, I have 3 questions to ask you.
Oh, yes.
The first question is, give us a little background of your journey and how it had shaped you into the woman you are today.
Yes, for sure. So born and raised in the North Dallas area, fortunate enough to have both my parents in the home and a sister. And, we were brought up in the church. And that is where a lot of my leadership was fostered. And so being a part of a ministry that was called a drill team ministry, that if anyone grew up in a black church, a lot of us know what a drill team is. And I did that for 20 years. And as I was graduating college, the director at the time, he was a youth pastor, and he had the opportunity to be a pastor of his own church. And so the adult leaders just looked at me and said, so you're the new director, right? Excuse me? But it's just funny how God would appoint you even when you're not ready to be appointed.
That's right.
So I just took on that challenge and thrust into that leadership role. But, I had already exhibited some of those attributes without even knowing, going to school at the same time and being a leader within the ministry. So I did that for 10 years, working with young people. And that's kind of, where I've seen myself going in that trajectory of working with young people. And it was never something that I really thought I would be doing, but the Lord already put that in front of my husband and I, and he's already shown himself now in today's time with me working with young people. So because of that, I'm still involved in the same church that I've grown up. The Lord has not called us away. He just recently convicted me and placed me into the role as being the new student director, which I was fighting. But he had other plans, and so I've taken on that role. Also still being a wife, being a mother of 2 young children, working in the tech industry, and also listening to the Holy Spirit and being obedient and starting a wives ministry outside of my church with wonderful women that are part of my life. And I saw a need because I had the need. So I thought, there's got to be a need somewhere else. And then I opened up my big mouth and shared that with you. And you said, well, when is this starting? And I was like, like in a year. And you're like, no, that is not happening in a year. And after you pushing me for a while, I called all of my very close girlfriends, and every one of them, yep, when does it start? So that let me know this was something that was needed. So Wives of Faith was born. We've been active about 7 months and, still getting together and still growing, but I do see where God's taking it. And it's an opportunity for, more women of color, wives who are in careers, have children, can come together, have a safe space and support each other.
Wow. Looks like you've had a lot going on the past how many years? Since you were born. You were basically Joseph, right?
Oh, wow. Thank you.
So exhibiting that leadership skills is very important. And I'm so glad that you talked about your faith, because a lot of women practice a level of faith. And so as we celebrate this Women's History Month, it's important to know that that's what grounds you. That's what it sounds like it grounds you, because you move in a direction that the Holy Spirit moves you. And so that's how you've become successful. In what ways do you believe the celebration of Women's History Month can empower individuals to challenge stereotypes, break barriers, and strive for gender equality?
Well, we can Google, the thousands of women who have contributed to our society that we know about. But what I love what you're doing is you're highlighting women just within the city, right? Within your local area, because we're the ones who are keeping the society moving forward. And I think about my grandmother, my mother's mother, who passed in her mid-90s, but she was married to one man for 70 years. Wow. She bared 14 children. To me, that's women's history because of what she contributed to society by raising 14 children who were successful in their lives, who never found jail time, never found any substance abuse, and seeing something like that and her being faithful to her husband, faithful to her family to keep them moving forward. That's history in itself, and it's so I think women like that who we don't hear about, right? But God blesses them in their own way, right? And so, again, just thank you for this because it allows women like my mother, Johnny Mae Barnett, to have still at this, in 2024, to still be present and be someone that is seen, even though she's gone on. So thank you again for this. But, recognizing those type of women is very important, along with obviously the women who have made a huge contribution to our society.
Absolutely. And that's how you grow a community, right? It's
Correct.
not always about what you see on television. It's literally the people that are around you holding your hands and raising children to change society. Because it's really impressive. As you know, as people of color, we tend to have a history with the system and so forth. So hearing that your grandmother raised 14 children that were all successful, it's unheard of. So celebrate that. And that already has broken barriers and stereotypes. So, all right, last but not the least, could you share a message of empowerment for young women and girls who aspire to make a difference in their communities and beyond?
Yes, honestly, it's hard. It's easier said than done. But get you one or two good people in your corner. And challenge yourself. If there's something that you want to do, you want to write a book, you want to start a business, you want to get higher education, you want to play a particular sport, whatever it is that you feel as if is in your spirit, in your soul to accomplish, but you haven't moved on it, the first step is tell somebody. Pray about it, tell somebody you know and trust, because then they'll hold you accountable to get it done. And then just do it. Just don't let anybody, it's easier said than done, I understand that, but get into your mind and your heart and your spirit, and with prayer, you can literally do whatever it is that you have set yourself out to do. If it's in God's will, it's yours and it's already done. So create that relationship with God, have you a good corner of friends and family, and step out there. And you're gonna fall, you're gonna suck, and you're gonna fail. But the good thing is that only builds you up into the next step. So you have something to look back at and said, I got over that. Now let me help the next person who wants to do the same thing.
Wow, that was powerful. Thank you so much, Brandi.
You're welcome.
And
thank you for having me. This is wonderful.
I look forward to many more, right?
Yes. It's going to be good times. Thank you.